Hey guys, welcome back. Today I've got a lawn tractor. It's a Craftsman that came into the shop. It's got a Briggs opposed twin engine, one of the better engines that I've ever seen on lawn tractors. However, this engine is surging up and down. It's very annoying, and it's actually quite common on these lawn tractors with that engine. And as usual, the carb is non-adjustable, so I'm going to show you guys how to quickly fix that with just one tiny tool, a small drill bit, and you're going to get rid of that surging. So here's the tractor, guys. I'll start it up so you can hear that surging. Then I'll show you the solution to stop that surging. Now I throttled down here and the machine died on its own without the switch off. Usually what I do is I locate this bolt here because there is a jet hiding behind that. Just clean all the crud off first so it doesn't go in the carb. You'll need a 5/8 socket and a ratchet. I'll just clean that crud here with a wire brush. And now remove the bolt. There will be fuel coming out. And I put a drip pan here. Once the bolt's off, you can see the jet in there. So I've got a small screwdriver here with a 40/1000 of an inch drill bit. I'm going to reach in and enlarge that jet. And what you want to do after you do this, put the cap back on and test out the machine to see if it still surges. And I took off the air filter cover here as well. There's a few bolts when you take off the air filter. It's pretty easy. So I'm just going to reinstall that bolt here and just tighten it up here. Okay guys, so I've enlarged that bottom jet. I've put the cap back on. I tried the engine and it still surges after doing that. So what you need to do now is remove the choke cable, remove these 4 bolts here. They are a Torx T25. I did put a bit of paint here to know exactly where the cable goes after I reinstall it. And also take note of which hole the cable goes into. It goes into the center hole, and I've marked that with paint as well. Now I'm just going to take this bolt off again just to drain the carb before I take this part off. There'll be a bit of a gas coming out again. Just have a rag or container under here. And don't use a rag if your muffler's super hot. Put a metal container to grab the gas. Now I'll just loosen this bolt over here. Just pop it out. And then just pop out the Z-bend like that. Now before taking off the top cover, I like to air blow all the dirt away. Make sure the choke is on so that no dirt goes inside. And now just remove the 4 bolts, T25. You can also use a small 8mm socket as well. Okay, now when you remove this top here, go gently because there is a gasket. The float is part of that as well. And I did not really damage the gasket, which is great. If you damage the gasket, just replace it. Now you can leave this part here intact like that. Now what I've got is a micro screwdriver with a micro drill bit. Again, this bit is tiny. It's only 15/1000 of an inch. Now don't go bigger than 15/1000 of an inch. The jet inside here was bigger, so it didn't matter because I used the 40 thou drill bit I think in there. But for these small jets here, you'll need a much smaller drill bit. It's really important that you do not overdo it. If you go too big, the machine will be running way too rich. Now what you need to do is run the small screwdriver or the small drill bit in all of the small jets on top here So you just want to turn until the bit goes in and go very gently. You don't want to break those bits inside the jets. Now once you've enlarged the jet, you've gone through it, just remove it and move on to the next one. You want to go to this one here and do the same thing. So I've penetrated through, just going to remove it. And you want to make sure that the hole beside it is unplugged. I don't think there is a jet there, but just make sure it's unplugged. You can also air blow all of this here as well. And while you're in there, just clean the inside of the carb. This one's not too bad, but I'll just give it a quick clean. I will not remove parts of the gasket here because I will be reusing the gasket. It'll just form back together once I put the bolts on. And here's another close look at these. Just doing a final check here. They're enlarged a bit, not too much. This is pretty clean. You can also run a blowgun here with air. This will get rid of any small metal shavings or dirt left in there. Now after enlarging the jets here, if the machine still surges, I will replace the pump kit here. But I usually don't replace the pump kit if it runs after I've done this. Now you can see some small jets over here as well. I didn't really enlarge those. My drill bit is much smaller than those jets, but I just run it in there just to make sure it's clean. So this upper part of the carb looks pretty clean. I'm just going to slap it back on the tractor and hopefully it doesn't surge anymore. And I'm also going to reinstall this bolt here first. Tighten it up. Now these are the screws that go on the top part of the carb here. Now when you tighten up this part of the carb, you want to do it in a diagonal pattern so that it goes on evenly. Now grab your choke cable, insert it into the lever here. And now just tighten it up. So let's try it out. Choke on, throttle halfway. So that did the trick, guys. Usually it does. Now after you do this, you will sometimes have to pull back on the idle screw here. It's just a mechanical screw. As you saw, I was revving pretty high and I hadn't touched the screw before I did the repair either. So if it's revving high, just back it off until it idles properly. And if you back it off, do it with the throttle all the way down, and that's at the lowest setting. So that's about all you may run into. If your gasket inside the carb is damaged, just replace it. This one was good. There is no leaks whatsoever anywhere. And now at this point I can just reinstall the air filter bracket, and that's all there is to it. Now when you install this cover, you want to make sure that the small hole over here is not plugged. And again, just tighten up the bolts evenly and make sure they're fairly tight. So as you saw, guys, it's a quick fix. It costs you pretty well nothing to do. And if this video has helped you guys, please like it and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And have a great day.